Hello and welcome to this very special campaigns webinar talking all about our new campaign action, Generations Unite. My name is Daniel, I'm the head of campaigns here at CAFOD, and this is
Maria-Elena from the campaigns team.
And we are going to take about 25 minutes of your time to explain what's happening this year, what are we asking you to do in your parish, and what do you have to look forward to. So without any further ado, I think we'll crack on.
Absolutely. So 2020 is going to be a really important year. That's because there's a year of really big international summits, 5 in total, on biodiversity, on the seas, on climate, and the UN celebrates a big birthday. It's almost like the world wants to take Pope Francis's call to integral ecology more seriously. So let's try and help them get the message. The UN climate change talks take place, we think, in Glasgow in November. So it's an opportunity for world leaders to set out a new agenda and to put our common home on the pathway to recovery. This year is a good chance for world leaders to recognise that poverty, nature and climate are all interrelated. And to ensure that everyone can flourish, we need to restore creation, enable it to adapt to an already warming world and stop the climate crisis from getting worse.
Indeed. So this year we have been particularly inspired by young people all around the world who have lifted up their voices, spoken with unity to demand that the world takes action on the climate crisis. So we've worked up a campaign that specifically pushes these incredible young people right to the forefront, and we present to you Generations Unite. So we hope that you will be able to use Generations Unite to lead your community in prayer, in action, in hope this year, and stand alongside some of the most extraordinary Catholic young people that CAFOD has the privilege and pleasure of working with. So before we go into detail about how the concept works and the nuts and bolts of it, let's just have a little bit of 3 points on why, on a bit of the concept, on a bit of the background. So firstly, we really want to underpin this year in prayer. It's absolutely fundamental to who we are as Catholic Christians. And we know that these kinds of years and these kinds of events aren't done deals. Yeah. You know, you'll remember in Copenhagen in 2009. Was a huge failure, a crushing defeat of multilateralism. But in Paris in 2015, it was a monumental success, a miracle, if you like. And so we have to pray for miracles. Second, we know that young people like Greta Thunberg, the young Swede who led the school's climate strikes, have really put young people right at the top of the climate conversation. And Pope Francis urges us all to work across generations to fight the climate crisis. So we thought that we would bring together these fantastic young people and dioceses all around England and Wales and put them together to unite these generations. And lastly, we know that in climate, the climate statistics show us that 80% of people think that they care about climate, but the person sitting next to them doesn't. So we thought that we would put an action together which surfaced and recognised and celebrated the fact that everyone is actually a bit concerned about climate change, to build on that idea, to make visible other people's concern for climate. Is that enough for now?
I think so. I think that's a good start.
Let's crack on to what's happening this year and what the path was that has led us to this point, Maria-Elena.
So this picture is actually from the last UN climate meeting, which was held in Madrid last November. And you can see it's not people inside, negotiators kind of talking for hours on end. It's a group of young people really kind of demonstrating and showing how much they care for climate justice and the need to take urgent action. So you can see that with the, kind of inspiration and, excitement on their faces.
And hilarious, not our first language spelling mistakes.
No, yes, really not their English is not quite perfect, but hey, they're trying there, they're working. We know that they're with us. So, just to get you up to speed on where we are, obviously 2015 we had the Paris Agreement, nearly every country in the world agreed to it, but it was very top line. They didn't really go into the detail, they kind of left that for the years to follow. And the work to agree detail back in Poland in 2018, in Madrid last year, didn't really go very well. It was very slow, very painful, and they basically have left things now to be agreed 5 years on from Paris in Glasgow this coming November.
Useless adults leaving everything to the last minute.
Absolutely. So there's lots and lots. So it's one of the key reasons why it's such an important COP for us to be dealing with.
So, shall we turn to our young climate leaders?
I think that would be great.
Let's do that. Okay, so let's start with Delio. Delio is he teaches. He's an indigenous person from the Peruvian Amazon, and I met him in Rome a couple of years ago at a conference in the Vatican. He was most recently a part of the Amazon Synod, speaking on behalf of people that he knows in the Amazon whose lives and livelihoods are threatened by all kinds of forces, economic forces acting in the Amazon. He encourages his students to become leaders themselves, learning to nurture and protect their natural environment and educating others about the harm that's being done. So you will get to know Delio loads better if you come from the diocese of Birmingham, Cardiff, Clifton, Menevia, Northampton and Plymouth. If you're in any of those dioceses, you will get a chance to get to know Delio more and in fact meet him when he comes over in
July.
Great.
But anyone in England and Wales who chooses to go to the National Justice and Peace Conference, 17th to the 19th of July, he will be there. So you will be able to meet with him, to hear him speak, and that will be an amazing opportunity. And that's in Derbyshire at Swanwick.
And our big leader, Christine Allen, the Director of CAFOD, is chairing the National Justice and Peace
It's going to be a great
Conference.
event. And our colleague from Trocra is speaking at it. So
You'd be foolish to miss out.
absolutely.
Okay, good. So next up we've got Richard. He's someone else that I know. He is 33.
They're not all your friends,
They're not
are they?
all my friends, but
No.
they will all be your friends soon. Good people of England and Wales. So Richard is a lay missionary with the International Young Catholic Students Movement. He's originally from Nigeria and now he lives in Paris for the time being. And he recognises how important climate change is because Nigeria is getting hotter and its rainfall becoming more and more unpredictable. He has experienced the effects of climate change firsthand, and now he goes he gives lots of workshops and seminars to people, to young students, to get them to act on climate. Mm-hmm. He's really, really fantastic. He is coming over in June.
And he is partnered with the Diocese of Brentwood, Southwark and Westminster. And he's speaking at the CAFOD Volunteer Conference on the 6th of June. So anyone in the South East has the chance to meet Richard and to listen to him, which would be great.
Sign up to the volunteer conference, and if you're in the London diocese, you get a chance to meet Richard. Great. And then, do you want to do Mary?
Yes.
Last but not,
Yeah.
well, not, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, they're all great. Mary Moena Colio is 28, and she's the voluntary coordinator for the Wellington, New Zealand branch of the Pacific Climate Warriors. She's from Samoa. Communities in the Pacific Islands are on the front line of climate change. Many are being forced to adapt to ever-changing and dangerous weather conditions or to flee their lands altogether. So young activists like Mary are on the front line of this struggle, organising their communities to protest, demonstrate and call for change. Mary is partnered with the Northwest, so that's the Diocese of Lancaster, Liverpool, Salford, Shrewsbury and Wrexham, and she's coming over in November. So she will be speaking just one event in those dioceses, and then she'll be heading up to Glasgow for the COP.
Brilliant.
If you come to Glasgow, you could also hear her though.
Okay, so our fourth set of new friends, the Eco Brigades. They're from Lima in Peru. They're from 4 different schools, aren't they? And they're a group of school children who specifically learn about biodiversity and take local practical steps to protect it. They're particularly keen to protect the green lungs of Lima, as they're called, the Lomas. Lima is a city, you know, it's very built up, lots of concrete, not very much green space. And
Terribly dry.
Protecting these very special biodiverse places is really important. And they're all under threat from people who fence off the land and build houses and sell the houses.
And mining companies too.
Mining companies do. So these eco brigades, as they call themselves, are really important and really fantastic, and a set of young people that we should definitely get behind. If you are in the diocese of Hexham and Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Leeds, Hallam or Nottingham, the Eco Brigades are going to be your friends. And we've got some special events with them.
Yes, they're not able to come themselves. That would just be too difficult to organise. But we are in the planning an online exchange between school children here and the Eco Brigaders. And we're looking at kind of late May to be doing that event based in a school in Nottingham. So watch more if you're in the Nottingham diocese.
And then our final friends are the Atrato River Guardians. Marilena, where is the Atrato River?
The Atrato River flows through Colombia's Pacific rainforest.
Gosh.
It's one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. The region is a source of life for many indigenous communities, but it suffered the effects of illegal mining, logging, and armed conflict. But in 2017, the Constitutional Court recognised the legal rights of the river in a landmark case, really positive, ordering the government to protect it and establishing the guardians of the river, including groups of young guardians, and they help to clean up the river and also raise awareness about its protection. So CAFOD, these are key CAFOD partners, and we're really excited that they are going to be partnered with the Diocese of Portsmouth, Arundel and Brighton, and East Anglia. And again, we're hoping to try and organise an online event with them sometime in May or June. So we hope that they'll be able to do it. And the adult guardians, they're also partners with our sister agency, CAFOD. So there's a good chance they're working towards organising for the adult partners to come to Glasgow.
Next year. Yeah,
to Glasgow.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Good. So all this content is in your organiser's guide, which if you're a campaign volunteer, has been sent to you already. The A5 landscape yellow booklet. So all of these stories are in there. There are also other resources you can use on the CAFOD website. There are a set of blogs which you can have a look at and copy the text from. There's also what are called long form, which is basically like long websites scrolling through lots of different kinds of content, video and
there's some already good films up there.
There's really great stuff already. There's some lovely films that you can download, and there are also social media assets, square pictures for Instagram that you can put on your parish's, social, and that's all downloadable from cafod.org.uk/climate.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, so shall we talk a little bit about how the nuts and bolts of the activity?
Shall I go through the activity and how people can make it work in their parish? So the idea is to hold a prayer and action card signing in your community as soon as possible after Easter. So we're really hoping that people are able to find a weekend in May or June, as soon as you possibly can. And I know it's hard to kind of get dates, but if you could plan now to do it, then that would be brilliant. And so the idea is you have the poster in 3 different sizes. So if you only have a small space, you can use the A4 size. If you have a really big space, even if it's temporary, use the A1 size. And you decide when to do it, and then you give out both the prayer cards and the action cards, and you get people to sign the action cards so that can count, and we can use that to go to the Prime Minister. But you have the prayer cards for them to write a prayer about their climate leader or group, and also about kind of hopes for the Glasgow COP meeting this November.
Brilliant.
So they can do that prayer, then you can pin them up as a kind of visible sign so people can see it. And leave it up the whole year if you can. If you're only able to put it some of the time, maybe you can have it there for a month or so, bring it back maybe in the season of creation.
And there will be climate disasters through the year. We
Absolutely.
had loads last year, didn't we? We had floods in Mozambique and Zimbabwe. We had floods here. Mm-hmm. We had forest fires in Brazil and Australia. All of that's going to happen next year as well. And it's terrible, and one of the things that we can do about it is to pray about it. So leave up your prayer activity, get some more action cards, and have a second round of prayers.
Absolutely. And there's a great short talk in the booklet, so you can get a young person in the parish to read it out to people. You could think about having monthly prayers in Mass, so you can keep remembering your own climate leader.
And then when you're ready, when you've had your activity, you can use the form in the organiser's guide to send all of that stuff back to us. And it will help us to know that this particular volunteer, you, in your particular parish, has sent in this number of people's responses. And that just helps us to be able to kind of track participation, to see who needs more support.
Absolutely,
and who's doing
and it's really important for us to know who's campaigning across England and Wales. So it's really helpful for CAFOD to know that we've got your support, not only in fundraising but also in campaigning.
And Harvest Fast Day, which is always the first Friday in October, will have a climate-y kind of focus and Amazon focus. There's a bit of an opportunity there, and of course the season creation, which we'll come on to.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to emphasise, if you can possibly do it, the sooner the better, because when we have our meetings with civil servants and with ministers and the Prime Minister, they already have a really strong sense that the Catholic community wants them to act. All right, so you've got a good sense, Marilena, about what's going on in the next year.
Happy to go
Let's
through.
have the next slide. Thank you. So,
Yes.
take it away.
So this is the calendar as we know it for the year. It could be more things, but for now, we do know that we have these climate leader visits in June with Richard, in July with Delio from Peru, and in November with Mary from the Pacific. So there will be opportunities in your diocese to see them. They won't be able to do lots of events, but they'll be able to do at least one event. And again, for Richard, he'll be speaking at the London Volunteer Conference. Then there'll be remote link-ups for the Eco-Brigaders in May, and the River Tractor Guardians, we're hoping in May or June. And so there will be an online event where young people here can talk to the young people there, and really be able to kind of
build a bridge,
kind of really enjoy that solidarity. And we hope that there'll be an opportunity for adults, not just parents, to actually come and attend those events. So the one in with the Eco-Brigaders, we think, will be in Nottingham Diocese.
So then there's a prayer chain, which we will talk about next. And then as part of the season of creation, Marilena's been working on a new idea, the Climate Sunday.
Yes,
do you want to tell us just a little bit about Climate Sunday?
Yes, it is a one-off. But
unless you have a really good time and you want to do it next year as well.
All the churches, churches across the UK have agreed that the 6th of September will be Climate Sunday. And so they're wanting churches everywhere to do some kind of COP climate service, praying for the success of the Glasgow meetings. Now, obviously, we've always said it's really difficult to kind of plan to do something on just one day. And so for Catholic parishes, if you can't do the 6th of September, it's absolutely fine. Choose any Sunday during creation season. And so from the 1st of September to the 4th of October, any Sunday would be wonderful.
Whatever works
Give
for
that
you.
Focus. Absolutely.
We'll talk a bit about the Glasgow mobilisation, and then just in case you're a schools volunteer or you've got kids in a Catholic school and you want them to do Generations Unite, just be aware that the schools version of Generations Unite, also called Generations Unite,
it's the same campaign,
launches
action.
After Easter, April 2020. So just watch out for that. It's currently in development. That's really great.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful. So I'm sure the schools are going to be very excited about that.
Can we have the next slide? Yes. So here are a set of CAFOD campaigners, all posing with the old CAFOD logo in front of a coach. They look like they've got the big coats on. Where are they off to?
Well, this was December 2018, and we were on our way to travel by coach, only 24 hours, to Poland. So we went for 5 days, to spend some time with other international Catholic networkers in Poland, and to be a visible sign at the Katowice COP in Poland.
And we're going to do something similar, aren't we?
And
we're going to invite 200
yes.
CAFOD supporters
Absolutely,
from every
yes.
diocese in England
so
and Wales.
really, we need representation from every diocese, and we want to organise events over the middle weekend of the COP. So that will be from Thursday the 12th of November to Sunday the 15th of November. And we won't be taking coaches because people will be coming from all over, so people will organise their own travel, but we will provide accommodation. The accommodation will be basic.
With the capital B.
But it will be an amazing experience, and we will have the opportunity to have briefings and workshops and to meet amazing people like Mary from the Pacific, like we think the River Tractor Guardians, possibly other people who are inside the meetings will be able to give briefings, like Robin, our climate analyst.
And when can I sign up for this amazing thing?
Well, we will have the application process out from the end of this month. So we'll be doing it quite soon, so that people can organise their travel and kind of get ready to go. But it's going to be a brilliant, brilliant opportunity.
So look out for that in the update, in the campaign emails. We'll communicate that with you.
Yes.
Okay, then we have new exciting initiative, Pray Without Ceasing. It's a 24/7 prayer chain, which started already on Ash Wednesday last week, and it's going to go all the way through to the end of the COP. We're doing it with our friends at Christian Aid and our friends at Tear Fund.
Absolutely.
This is an opportunity for communities right around the world, but particularly here in England and Wales, to join with other people of faith, to pray for the climate, to pray for people affected by climate change, and to pray for the success of the Glasgow climate talks.
Yeah.
So you can find more about that on cafod.org.uk/prayer chain. cafod.org.uk/prayer chain.
And if you don't remember that, you can go to the top of the CAFOD website, and where it says prayer, then there's a drop down that says Pray Without Ceasing. So you can find it there. There's a special prayer that we've pulled together for Glasgow, and so we hope that as part of their praying whenever it is, that incorporate that prayer.
And there's a great map as well, which I really enjoy.
And then you can see where everywhere else. I mean, you put your information, obviously no one sees your personal information, but they see that there is a group in, Birmingham that is praying at a certain time.
Birmingham, Alabama.
It could be.
Okay, and then the Season of Creation, which starts on the World Day of Prayer for the Care of Creation, the 1st of September, all the way through to the 4th of October, which is the feast day of St. Francis of Assisi. The Season of Creation was instituted quite a number of years ago, and the World Council of Churches has really got behind it.
Yep.
And more recently, the Catholic Church has really, decided to join the, fun.
And we will have new resources for that. So look from June. But if you think you might want to do something, it's never too early to start preparing for that, because it does happen, straight after the holidays, the summer holidays. So it's really helpful to kind of get that in the diary.
And the Harvest Fast Day has a Season of Creation link as well. So if you do the talk for Harvest Fast Day, it'll mention the Season of Creation. So please, if you're thinking of doing Generations Unite, if you haven't done it by the Season of Creation, that's your chance to do it. But please don't leave it that late, because the earlier we've got those responses, the more clearly we can tell the Prime Minister what we need. Okay, so that's it. Gosh, how are we doing for time? All right.
Perfect. Absolutely.
So all that remains is for us to wish you good luck. If you need any support from CAFOD, you can either, in the first instance, get in touch with your community participation coordinator, your regional person in your diocese. But if you want to email me or Marilena, we're here too. Give us a call. We love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
It's a sad week, isn't it? It's a sad time.
We're very sad.
It is my last week in the campaigns team. I have had an extraordinary 4 years. One of the things that I will miss the most is CAFOD's extraordinary campaigners all around the world. I suppose they are all around the world, but particularly the thousands of campaigners in hundreds of parishes all across England and Wales. Thank you so much for campaigning with us. I think that our campaigning is absolutely the equal of any other organisation in the country, and that's all down to the amazing work that you do. So thank you so much for campaighing. I will still be campaigning as the campaign volunteer at English Martyrs
you don't
Church,
get to leave.
No, you can never leave CAFOD's campaigning. So hopefully I'll see you soon. But thank you very much for for being such brilliant people and such a great family of campaigners.
And of course, Dan started with CAFOD as a volunteer, as one does, only about 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
And look, you can kind of aspire to the heights of being head of campaigns.
Get out while you still can. All right, so God bless. Thank you very much. Good luck with Generations Unite.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to seeing what you do with it. Pray for a miracle. I believe that we'll get one in Glasgow this year. It's
going to be an amazing year, and there's so many brilliant things that are happening this year. So do be part of it, and if you need support, do let us know.
Let's make history.
Let's make history. Thank you.